Now has never been an easier time to outcompete everyone because everyone is in an attention deficit. A lot of people lack the ability to focus and are overstimulated and imprisoned by their phone. It's so bad to the point it affects other areas of their lives. And worst of all, most people don't take the opportunity or the time to make changes to stop it. But if you clicked on this video, you clearly care, and because of that, there's a good chance you're gonna outwork and blitz through your competition just by simply being bored. So watch to the end and give this video your utmost undivided attention. So for starters, you gotta understand that boredom is a modern day superpower. Nowadays, in a rampant overstimulated world where we have things like TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and other things ready to steal your attention, most people are incapable of staying focused and literally keeping their attention onto one thing at a time. In fact, if you're watching a video like this right now, you're probably trying to look through the comments or looking on the side screen of YouTube to see what other recommended videos are being recommended to you, steering your attention away from what's going on your screen. So if you want this video to help you, I suggest that you put this video in full screen and just hear me talk to you one-to-one as if I'm talking to you in real life. So pay attention. And so why is boredom so important today? Well, when you're bored, you're able to cultivate a lot of new ideas, create certain things, and materialize it into reality for people to consume. And this in itself is considered a skill because most people cannot sit down and work without any thoughts or distractions limiting them. For example, I went to the gym today, and most of the time when I'm doing my workouts and my sets, I'll normally see people just scrolling on their phones. And granted, I was guilty of this too until I learned to reduce or mitigate it. And I came in late one day, later than I usually do, because I usually go to the gym around 9 a.m. But instead I came around like 9:20ish, 9:30. And so by the time I got there were people who came earlier or came around the same time as me and ended up staying there longer, whilst I'm going through my workouts, blitzing through it without checking my phone. And yet I was able to finish before them. Why is that? It's because I was focused. Now granted, there were times where I would go say hi to somebody or interact or riz a little bit. Joking. And so as I was observing everybody in my gym, I'm like, damn, you guys really could have gotten done with your workouts quickly. Like, some of y'all got work, y'all arriving late to work and rushing out of the gym to get ready because you're distracted. And as for me, who came in late, there's a reason why I finished before them. And it's because I set the intention to focus and learn to be bored without, taking, because you know how when you take breaks in between sets, people like to scroll on their phone. But even that, I just realized that wasn't optimal because I'm just trying to get in and get out so I can produce content for you guys. I'm not trying to be there for 2, 3, 4+ hours because I get tired of the gym environment. And it's not even that optimal to stay for that long, even if you're making excuses for the gains, bro, the gains. So that's just one example of just using boredom to your advantage. And because I was so used to being bored and not being overstimulated by this rectangular device, I was able to go ahead, finish my workout, and do my work for the day. I'm telling you that boredom is a superpower. I'm not even exaggerating this when I tell you, because at this point, boredom is a skill. And if you learn to harness this power of boredom, bro, the stuff you can do and the stuff you can create or even get done is insane. As human beings, we're innovators. We're meant to create shit, not obviously we're consumers, and there's consumers and producers of the world, but it's kind of wired in your brain. You have to put something out there. It's how human civilization has built itself over the years we've been on the face of this planet. And I know some of you guys are gonna have the limiting belief oh, but what if this person texts me? And what if I need to check this notification or my email for my work? Okay, all those excuses are invalid because you could set aside time for this. The same way you're setting time for me, which I'm grateful for it because you're watching this. Those limiting beliefs, cut them out. Just don't listen to them. Any if, ands, or buts are invalid, because if you can set time aside to do something or do certain bullshit things that don't really steer you closer to your goals, whatever they may be, then all those excuses you have are invalid. So you got to set aside time to do so, because I guarantee you, if I were to lock you in a room without your phone, without a computer, without any sort of technology or any stimulating thing, and just leave you there with only a pen and paper, you would find some way to entertain yourself or make work out of it. And you would actually start planning things that you had buried in the back of your mind that you were kind of scared to start, because that boredom is what causes you to become curious and create something. But if you have all these things bombarding your mind all at once, it's impossible to actually give that thought some of that attention it deserves. So I want you to remember this. If there's anything you can take away from this video, understanding that boredom equals creativity. If you allow yourself to be bored, all these thoughts will flood in your mind. All these ideas, all these innovative thoughts will cause you to materialize something into existence for people to consume or use as something valuable for their lives. Like, how cool is that? Like, even as I'm creating this video, I'm putting something out there that didn't even exist prior, but because I got bored and I want to give value to you guys and, you know, feel like I'm doing some type of good deed or impact into this world, this boredom has allowed me to do that. I allowed myself to be in an environment that enforces me to think and create something without being stimulated or consuming someone else's content. And so I actually want you to think back and reflect on half the instant gratification things that are holding you back from getting the work done. And it could be the common things that we all deal with, which is doom scrolling, binge watching Netflix or anime or reality TV shows, or hell, I'm guilty of this too. I'll be like one of the self-improvement people to tell you I be watching like the Kai Cenat's drama or the Diddy stuff. Like, I'm all hip to it because sometimes I'll watch like a Jamari. Those are things that I'm critically aware of, so I try to mitigate as much as possible. And so for you, right, since we're not too different, for you to mitigate this and reduce it, the work you do has to be far more entertaining than the instant gratification things that you're currently doing. And don't bullshit yourself. They are instant gratification stuff. It's stuff like binge eating, watching Netflix, watching stuff that doesn't really impact your life, especially when you're at a stage where you can't afford that luxury to slow down towards your goals. You gotta cut it out. You have responsibilities. And so by me recording this video and producing this, I feel an urge and a responsibility to get this message out to you guys. And I feel as though this is like my mission. This is something I have to do, and anything that steers me away from it is a distraction and it's poison, especially for me right now, since I can't afford to lose focus onto what really matters. And you should have a similar type of urgency and view towards this. Assume anything that steers you away from gaining clarity or from getting your work done and doing something that actually impacts your life, assume it as a distraction. Otherwise, if you allow it into your life, then you're just violating your potential and you're just saying, okay, you know, I don't really respect myself. I don't really respect my work. Here, just take my attention, take my focus away blissfully. You know what I'm saying? So again, I'm gonna repeat it. You gotta make what you're doing, the meaningful task, more fun than the actual instant gratification stuff. Now, how I make my work entertaining is by playing music. So I'll play like lo-fi music. I feel like this creative rush just flowing through my brain where like I just start generating ideas after ideas. And it's just like, damn, I'm like typing away, producing all types of like bars and shit that you guys can resonate with. And just the thought that I'm producing something of importance to the world, that's like, damn, that's fun to me. And it could probably change one or two people's lives if I just focus on certain things. Like, think about it this way. Half the stuff you enjoy, imagine if all those people never focused or set the intention on that one thing for you to consume for your own pleasure and enjoyment or knowledge. And so there's other ways of making your work more fun, and that's by having like a morning routine or a ritual where like you'll have, let's say, a cup of tea or coffee before you start your work, or you listen to some music similar to me to get into that workflow, just to get you in the mood, right? And over time, as you keep doing this, you'll notice that your work becomes even more enjoyable. Now, I will say this, it doesn't necessarily become easier, but it will become more enjoyable and challenging enough for you. Because the reason why you get, I guess, bored and wanna consume and doom scroll and do all these instant gratification activities is because maybe some of you have not found that one thing that is challenging enough for you, that actually puts you in a space for you to actually challenge yourself to see what you're capable of. That's probably one of the main issues when I see people that are bored. Like, they know what they should be doing, but they're over analyzing the work that they have to do, and so they see the work as like up here and their capabilities of doing it down here. But it's like the cliche advice you always hear, just take it one step at a time, just bits and pieces at a time as to what your skill level is currently at. Like, think about it this way. You have a master chess player who's been playing for years, right? And you have a novice who's basically just a beginner, right? The master chess player is not gonna be as entertained or enjoy the game as much because the novice isn't on the same level as him or is competent enough to challenge him where he can actually enjoy the game. Meanwhile, on the other hand, the novice, the beginner, is going to be over analyzing and anxious and kind of scared and worried that he's not going to be able to give the master chess player a good challenge. And so you got to find a task or something that forces you to challenge yourself at the current baseline level that you are. And that's not by overstimulating yourself, because all that, again, is a distraction. So an action step that you could do to not have your focus dwindle or have it be taken away from you is to just You see this phone right here? Put it away. Literally, when I'm recording, I have little to no distractions. My phone does not go off. It does not ding or do anything like that, because I know that if I allow this thing to make sounds whilst I'm working, then my focus is gonna steer off. I'm gonna have a little bit of attention residue. And if you don't know what attention residue is, search it up. So put your phone away, turn off your notifications, and then only look at it once you're done with said task. And that's by learning to be bored. Just learn to sit down, do the work, not be a completely brain dead idiot and let these things distract you. It honestly amazes me that most people wonder why they can't get shit done, and it's because they have all these irrelevant notifications ready to steal their attention away. Don't let that be you. And once you find your work more enjoyable, bro, I promise you, you'll see that it's a far more healthier form of entertainment for you, and it's far more fulfilling because it'll lead you to creating something meaningful in your life, whatever that may be. So bro, just simply do this, learn to be bored, and I promise you, you will outwork everyone just by simply learning to be bored, okay? It's really that simple. And do this if you really respect yourself, which I assume if you made it this far into the video, thank you. You should probably clap it up for yourself, because you're kind of showing me you have a good attention span. And it's honestly really promising that you are gonna like make it far and get your work done and do all that you set out to do. I believe in you. You should believe in you. I think you do. I like to assume so. So yeah. But yeah, that's all for this video. If you found value from this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with a friend who needs to hear or see this. I'm gonna see you guys. Peace.